Welcome everybody to another video, and in today's video I'm going to be going over some trading terms and their definitions. I'm going to be explaining more basic terms and then getting into more advanced terms, so hopefully you will learn something new or these terms will be better explained in this video. So let's go ahead and get right into the video. So the first term on the list is going to be RAP, which is wrap, and that means recent average price. Now the wrap of an item is going to be the recent selling price for that item, and it's going to determine how much it's actually worth with wrap based items. And with value based items, this is just going to be something that will either determine the value of the item or it'll determine not really anything if it's proof based. Now moving on to the second term, which is going to be value. Now value, as I said, only applies to valued items, and that is their actual value. And the wrap, as I mentioned earlier, also plays a role into how much that value item will be. Now the next term is going to be demand. Demand is how popular an item is and how much it sells. So if an item is really wanted by the community and it sells a lot, then it's going to have a high demand, and items like that are usually hyped up and a lot of people want them. And items that have low demand are going to be items that not really anyone wants, doesn't sell much, and it doesn't sell well. The next term is projected item. Now projected items are red flags in trading. You always want to watch out for projected items because projected items are items with a fake value due to it being sold at a high price. So you want to make sure in a trade that you're not getting a projected item, because that will result in you having an item with a fake value and it'll drop in value over time. I made a video on a lot of these terms in more detail, so if you want to scroll through my channel you can find other videos that may help you with more specific things, or if you have any other questions, go ahead and ask me in the comment section down below. The next term is going to be A/C, and this is one that I get asked a lot about actually. And A/C, if someone says that after sending a trade, basically all that means is they're asking you to either accept or counter, meaning that they do want to make a deal with you and they don't want you to just decline the trade and move on, because they do want to make a deal. Now A/D is going to be accept or decline. It means either take the trade or not. I don't really want to negotiate, and that's about it for that. The next term is NFT, which NFT means not for trade. Basically, it just means that someone doesn't want to trade their item, so if they say NFT, it just means that their item is not for trade and they don't want to trade you it. The next term is NTY. Now NTY is something that is commonly said. I say it a lot. If someone offers you something and they say NTY, it just means that they're saying no thank you and they don't want your offer. And next is going to be OP. Now OP is one of the most commonly used terms, and OP means overpay. So if someone wants you to OP on an item, they want you to overpay. Certain items get certain OPs. You can find that out through proofs. I have a video on that as well. And if you want someone to overpay for your item, just be like, I want an OP. Now the opposite of OP is going to be LB. Now LB is lowball, and what that is giving a lesser amount for an item than what it's actually worth. And usually this will happen if an item is below wrap, which below wrap means that an item is under the wrap it needs to be a certain value. I'll explain that a little bit in the next term. And lowball, it usually happens if an item, like a proofed item, is going to drop in value because it keeps getting lowballs, and if it's not a good item in general. The next term kind of connects to the previous term LB. This one is under, so if someone says that an item is under, that means that an item is under the required wrap that it needs to be a certain value. Now this is for only valued items that are wrap based. Now wrap based item is dependent on the wrap to be a certain value, whether it will drop or raise. So if an item is under wrap, that means that it is going to drop unless it doesn't recover within the certain recovery time on the item. The next few terms all kind of relate to a certain state of an item. Now the first one is going to be stable. Now if an item is stable, it is at a steady value and it gets decent OPs. It's an okay item and it's doing good. The next one is unstable. This means it doesn't have a steady value and it's kind of in a weird state. It's not like balanced, but it's not bad. The next one is raising. Now this means an item is increasing in value and it's doing good, so items like this are going to be better than the other two I mentioned. And the last one is going to be lowering. This item is lowering in value and it is not a good item, so you don't want to get your hands on one of these unless you get a good deal for them. And the next term is going to be hoard. Now if someone hoards an item or has a hoard of an item, it means they have many copies of that item. They have multiple of one single item, and this is actually something I want to do. I want to get Dominus Auris, and then I want to hoard waffle hats. Basically I want to get as many copies as I can of the waffle hat and just have them to myself. Now the next thing isn't actually a term itself, but is something to keep into consideration when trading, and that is that each item has their own acronym or nickname or just basically a shorter version of that name that it actually has. So for example, something like PRS, Pastel Rainbow Shaggy, Prey is Dominus Prefectus, Classic Fedora is CF, Ice Valk IV, you get the point. So those are also technically kind of like terms in trading that also are to learn when you are trading. Now the next term is proof. Now a proof of an item, or if you post a proof of an item, that is a screenshot that proves that an item gets a certain amount. So what you can do is go on the Rolling Minds Discord server and you can post a screenshot with some details about the trade of how much an item gets. So let's say, for example, I have the Baroness of the Federation or whatever it's called, and if I want to proof any OP on that's inbound on my trades, then I can post it there, and proofing an item basically will increase the chances of it either raising, lowering, stabling, depending on whatever situation the item is in. Now the next term is going to be proj flipping. So projected flipping is something I kind of mentioned earlier. So projecteds are items with a fake value. Now projected flipping, that is going to be something you can do to basically profit off of those items with a fake value. So you can get them for like really cheap, and then you can trade them off for equal to someone who doesn't know what a projected item is, and you can make a lot of good profit off that. And the next term is going to be beam or beaming. Now, if you get beamed or if someone beams another, and beaming in general, this is all something that is related to getting hacked and basically losing all your items and Robux. So if, let's say, I get beamed, that means that my account gets hacked and I lose everything. And if someone beams, then they hack other people's accounts and they take their items. Now, the next one is going to be compromised or comped. So if someone gets comped or compromised, it means that an account was hacked and all of their items were sold for like 1 Robux or whatever, basically usually the lowest price possible. And this not only destroys the item and it kind of ruins the recent average price, because considering if you combine all the recent average prices and sell amounts for a certain item, then if one of those is randomly a really low number, that will lower the recent average of how much that item is. So that's why the wrap for that item will drop a lot, because usually it gets sold for 1 Robux. And when you get compromised, all your items get sold for basically nothing, and they just go off to whatever. I know a lot of bots just will take those compromised offers or deals like right away, so there's really no way you can actually get compromised items from just them being sold, but that is what compromised means. Next one is going to be LPP'd. Now, if an item is LPP'd, this relates to being compromised. So, if an item is LPP'd, it is sold for the lowest price possible. So it's like lowest price possible. That's kind of where that comes from. But LPP is lowest price possible, and that's when an item is sold for the lowest price possible. Now the next one is UUC. UUC is a trade glitch or scam where completing a trade will only give one person the items, and this can happen sometimes. There's like waves of UUCing that occurs, and people, like, honestly, I haven't done any research on UUCing at all, and I honestly don't know how to do it, like, at all. Like, I genuinely don't. There actually might be a video. That's actually something I'd be curious about knowing. Don't do it if you know how to. I'm not really sure how that works, all to be honest. But I know it's a glitch or scam method where you literally just accept a trade. Like you just accept the trade that you have inbound, and you get your items taken away, but you don't actually get their items. Like usually, the items will, you get their items, they get yours, but like all the items will just stay with them. So it's a weird glitch. I know right now, at the time of making this video, it's not out, but I know there's always random waves of that occurring, like it happened like a month ago. The best thing to do is stay on the Rolling Mind Discord and just wait for announcements or people talking about that. The next one is going to be plugging or plugging an item. Now, plugging an item is willingly taking a stolen item from another user. Now, there are pluggers and people who plug items. This is something that you don't want to do. It is not, I guess, the right thing to do. It's not for the terms of service. I don't know if it's against or not, but I know it's not a liked thing in the Rolling Mind Discord, and it gets you blacklisted from the value request channel where you post proofs. And yeah, so don't plug. You can profit off it, just don't. The next one is going to be sharking, or if someone is a sharker. Now, a sharker is someone who tries to get a good deal off of other people by usually a group of people peer pressuring or just themselves, and them saying false things about an item and getting them to basically do a trade to have themselves profit. An example of sharking would be, let's say someone has this item worth 10k and they're saying that it's like one of the best items and it gets like 20k overpays and it's a really good item or whatever. And so this guy has like a 30k item or something like that, and basically like, oh, if you give me 30k for this item, you'll profit so much. Basically just saying like a lot of false stuff that's not even true, and just getting them to do a dumb thing that is not true. And the next one is going to be USDer. Now, if someone USDs, that means that they sell or buy items for real money, and US dollar, they sell things for US dollar. That's just kind of how it's referred to. I guess it could be any type of currency. It could be any country's currency, but it's usually just referred to as USD. And yeah, it's just someone who sells their items or buys items for real money. This is against the terms of service. I do not recommend doing this. And the last one on the list is going to be flipping. Now, someone who flips this is not proj flipping like I explained earlier, not projected flipping. This is like flipping on rbx.flip or whatever that site's called. Never been on it, never plan to even like go onto that site, because I don't like that extra third party type activity, whatever. And yeah, flipping is where people will gamble limiteds. They'll put up like, let's say 700k, they'll gamble like 700k or something, and for a chance to get like 1 million back or something. So they'll get like insane profits or whatever. I don't know, it's crazy. I never will ever do that. I just think it's really dumb. Don't flip. It's like one of the dumbest things you could possibly do. Yes, you can get lucky. You can get like, your 50% chance of winning this much, but it's honestly just a really dumb thing. Just don't flip. So that is going to be about it for this video. This is a pretty big list that I was able to come up with, but if you have any terms or questions or something that you want answered more in detail about a certain term or a certain thing in trading in general, I'll make sure to respond to as many comments as I can. And also, if you want me to make a video on any certain big topic in trading or just anything in general, go ahead and also leave that down in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear what you guys have for ideas. And yeah, that's going to be about it for this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.